Shut the fuck up. You're so fucking stupid. Why do people come in and do that? Well, actually, 120 Fahrenheit isn't even really, it's not even really that bad. If you're ever around me in real life and you set your shit down and you turn away for 1 second, I've read every single message. Now you have to worry about, like, do you just get up and leave? Or do you sit through the rest of the class? Oh. Oh no. I like guns. Oh wait, that's the wrong notes. Fuck. It's really hard to, hold on. It would be the same fucking argument, except you'd be using dividends instead of stock buybacks. What the fuck? What do I do if I'm trying not to get fat, but I really want ice cream? Listen, I'm trying so hard to lose weight now, and now that Melina's gone, I can do it. You want to know what it makes it really fucking hard to lose weight? You want the honest, the brutal fucking truth? Having another person living with you makes it really hard to control your diet. Because when they eat, they want you to eat with them. It's actually really hard. When I was in Europe, I actually like pretty explicitly like restricted like my diet and shit. I'm back to like 149. I was almost getting up to like 155 again. I think it was 154 before I left, and I'm at about like 150, 149 now. This month, we're losing 4 pounds, boys. I swear to fucking God, I will be 145 by the end of this fucking month. But like when you have like somebody that lives with you, like, hey, I want to go get something to eat. It's like, oh, fuck it. Okay, yeah, I'll come along and get something to eat too. It's really hard to like restrict how much you eat because every time they eat, you want to eat. And then if you ever snack or whatever, and then they want to eat, it's like, okay, fuck yeah. Like, oh, fuck, it's not good. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really hard. I think it's really hard to like control your diet with another person unless you're like 100% like on the same eating schedule or some shit. Man, I wonder if this is fake. I'm actually more likely to think that this guy actually faked this than Twitch actually did this. Because if Twitch actually did this, this is real bad. What the fuck? This email, I think he sent in a thing asking why he didn't get paid and why he was banned. Greetings. We do not pay out fraudulent revenue. This is why you have not been paid out. Do you not notice how you have well over 1,000 subs, but when you stream, no one talks? Then when your stream is offline, you have 100. This reads like some shit that somebody just typed in. Did somebody working on the support line for Twitch actually write this? This seems fake as fuck. Is this actually real? Whoever, like, if somebody from Twitch actually sent this, they should get fired and sued by the company. Jesus Christ. Dude, apparently this woman's entire fucking family, I haven't vetted this. I don't know if this is maybe exaggerated. Suppose this woman's entire fucking family got murdered for accusing some Indian politician of rape. Recent rape case involving MLA of Unnao. I don't know how to pronounce this. In June 2007, a 17-year-old minor girl in the Unnao district alleges rape by a BJP MLA Kuldeep Sengar. For about a year, the girl's family complains. The police refuse to even file an FIR. Family goes to court, persists with the case for a long time. April 3rd, girl's father badly beaten by MLA's henchmen.
Destiny's stream is why I passed the Louisiana bar AMA.
Police arrest father while ignoring the girl's complaint. Girl attempts suicide outside the home of UPCM Yogi, accusing him of protecting the MLA. Girl's father dies after police torture. Police arrest 4 men accused of assaulting the girl's father, all associates of the rapist MLA. Post-mortem report shows 14 injuries on girl's father body in the Unnao case. Case handed over to the CBI. BJP lawmaker Kuldeep Sengar charged with minors rape. Allahabad GC orders arrest of the MLA. CBI files charges Geet naming the MLA as an accused. A second charge Geet file, blah, blah, blah. 3 policemen and 5 other people. Oh, wait. So this is MLA and his brother, 3 policemen and 5 other people for allegedly framing the Unnao rape survivor's father. On the 18th of August, 2018, a key witness to the assault dies suddenly. Uncle alleges that Yunus is poisoned to death, buried with no autopsy. The uncle of the victim was arrested in an 18-year-old gun firing case. FIR, what is FIR? It must be like filing some case against the rape victim, her mother, and uncle, owing to discrepancies in the date of birth of the rape victim. 28th of July, 2019. A victim is traveling in a car to visit the uncle lodged in Ray Bearley Jail. A truck hits the car. The security officer of the girl is not in the car. The number plate of the truck is smeared in black paint. 2 of her aunts die. The rape victim, I think she's dead now. The lawyer is in critical condition. The police say the accident did not appear like a case of conspiracy or intent to murder. So the father is beaten to death, the uncle is arrested, the mother is dead, 2 aunts are dead, the witness is dead, the victim is in critical condition, the lawyer is in critical condition, and the MLA is safe under police security. Can you explain why India is so fucked? It seems like they're catching up, but I don't understand why India is so behind. I don't know anything about India. I thought, isn't the girl dead? Yeah. The woman who accused the Indian politician of rape hit by truck after father... woman who accused the Indian politician of rape hit by truck... Oh, no, so she's not dead. She's in critical condition. But yeah, damn. Wait, what? There's no way. 50 people have reportedly contracted herpes after drinking Belle Delphine's bathwater. Do you really think you can get There's no fucking way that you could get fucking herpes. Oh, at Bake Rises. From being in the bath with somebody that has herpes, right? Do you think? Pretty sure you have to make contact with the sore, right? In order to do that? Or contact with a part of the skin that's currently shedding the virus? Have you guys ever been in showers? There's got to be like a plumber in here. Can somebody tell me why, like, the fucking shower handle is this shit? Where there's like, this is the only acceptable temperature. And then, like, there's a ton of, like, inertia behind moving the handle. So if you try to move it a little bit, you can't. And then you push it a little bit more, and then it's like, and then it, like, goes to the other fucking thing, and you, like, die. Why? Why does this shit happen? It's so fucking stupid. Nobody has an air conditioner in Germany, but now that it gets warmer and warmer, we'll probably have to get them soon. One thing that a lot of people don't realize, especially in not America, I guess in a lot of warmer areas, the closer you are to the equator, the more likely you are to live in a place where everybody has AC. However, as temperatures are getting warmer, it sucks shit to live in an area where you're not used to it getting hot. I remember talking to Nicole about this a little bit. In Seattle, apparently, it's pretty rare to have an air conditioner because it just doesn't get that warm up there. But I think some of the temperatures last summer were getting into like the high 80s in Seattle? Seattle high temp 2018. 90 degrees. Imagine living in an area that hot and you have no air conditioner. What is 80? So like up to like, what is this, like 37 or some shit? I don't know. 80 F2C. 27. I'm sorry, that was way too high. 27. To 90 F2C. 90 F is all right without AC. 32 degrees without air conditioner? Fuck that shit. 30C in Sweden right now. Yeah. Melina's been complaining. Yeah, I've seen the temperatures are like high as fuck. It hit 116 in SoCal a couple times last summer. Yeah, that's cool though. In California, we have AC. We're used to having air conditioner, right? So it's fine if it gets really hot. But like, I can't imagine living in a place with no air conditioner where the temperature is hitting like the 30s, or in American units like the 90s. It's got to be fucking horrible. Especially because I imagine in Europe now you're gonna have to buy those shit. Does your Omaha house have AC? The Midwest. I don't know if this is true or not. In my experience, the Midwest has the most extreme temperatures in the world. There's probably some place on Earth that has more extreme temperatures. I just haven't seen it yet. But holy fuck, the Midwest is crazy. Lowest temperature, Omaha, 2018. No, it's just dry. The Midwest is not dry. Absolutely not. Time and date. What the fuck does 01/01 mean? January 1st, probably? Yeah, fuck, my bad. Wait, this has to be like with the wind chill. There's no way that the actual like temperature got this fucking low. What was like the actual... Was it? A new record low of negative 26 Fahrenheit. Is this in... Maybe this is in Celsius. No. Wait, maybe it's in Celsius. Do you think? No, it says F. This is in Iowa. This is in Nebraska. 116 in SoCal isn't too bad, even without AC. The average imperial... 116 Fahrenheit is fucking hot. Shut the fuck up. You're so fucking stupid. Why do people come in and do that? Well, actually, 120 Fahrenheit isn't even really... It's not even really that bad for me. Shut the fuck up, dude. It's hot as fuck. What the fuck? You're so dumb. Why the fuck would you even say that? Like, dude, you're so fucking cool. Like, oh my god, you're so cool, dude. Wow, 116, not even a big deal for you. Man, you're such a brave, powerful person, dude. God, you're so awesome. Fuck off, dude. With morning low air temperatures, wind chill temperatures ranged from negative. Oh, okay. This was. So at the start of 2018 in Nebraska, okay, it was negative 15 to negative 26 F, okay? And then in the summer, it gets to like over 100, and it's humid as fuck. The Midwest is, the range of temperatures is like insanely fucking brutal. That's all I was trying to say. I don't know why we got into this too much. Same in the Northeast. Ooh, the Northeast probably gets some pretty extreme temperatures too. I don't know how hot it gets in the Northeast though. Does New York City actually get over like 90 to 100 F? Like, yeah, all across Europe. There was a map. I saw a map like a week ago that was showing the, oh, was it this actually? That was showing the temperatures across Europe. Although I think it was hotter than this, wasn't it? It was hotter than this. Wait, this is a map from like a week ago. Is Juliet, is this July? Because this date hasn't happened yet. I don't know what the fuck this shit means. Oh, this is 2018. Oh, this is, yeah. I was never in Poland in the summer, but like, holy shit. I can't imagine it being like in the high 30s there. I don't know. My daughter recently turned 16, and for a couple months now has been constantly asking for a lock to be put on her door. She says it's to keep her brother out, who barges into her room every now and then to bother her, but I'm not sure if the benefit would be worth having the lock in place. I don't like the secrecy of her locking herself in the room, and I'm worried she's trying to hide something from me, or that she'll take the opportunity to lock me out. I admit that I've forgotten to knock sometimes, but other than that, I see no reason as to why she'd need a lock. The way I see it, it's my house, and I'm simply unwilling to have any locks put in anywhere. She's young and doesn't really know what she's asking for. This has to be a fucking bait post. This is 100% got to be a fucking bait post. It has like all the hallmarks. Like, she has a little brother that barges in. I barge in. My house, my rules. She's young and dumb. It has like, that's literally every post on the TLDR subreddit. Yeah, I don't know. This is dumb. When Nathan gets a phone, will you snoop through it or not? Probably. I'll snoop through fucking everything. I fucking snoop if you're ever around me in real life and you set your shit down and you turn away for 1 second, I've read every single message. Instantly. It's instantaneously in my head.
Thanks for saving me from becoming an epic red-pilled gamer.
No problem, dude.
Now I'm a Whole Foods going vegan.
Good job, man.
Hot take on cheap labor from places like China.
What if Nathan develops trust issues? Listen, here's what I'm going to say, okay? You shouldn't snoop, okay? I can snoop because I'm an ascended warrior, okay? I'm an ascended warrior. I can snoop. You know why? It's because when I snoop, I'm just interested in what's going on. I'm interested in the things that you lie to me about and the things you don't lie to me about. I'm interested in the way that you present things to some people, not the others, because I like that. I like having that information in my head, okay? If you like to know shit and you read shit like that, fuck it, go for it. I don't mind if people snoop my shit. If I'm in a relationship, especially now, I always tell the person, hey, if you want my fucking passwords, read through my shit. I don't give a fuck, okay? The problem with snooping is if you are prone to making up a ton of dumb shit in your head, or if you're going to start grilling the person on some shit, or if you're going to start like, what did you say that to me? Don't fucking snoop. Shut the fuck up. Keep your fucking eyes to your own fucking shit and fuck off, okay? Don't fucking do that shit. Nobody wants that shit, all right? If I'm dating somebody and they want to read all my shit or whatever, I don't give a fuck. Knock yourself out. But if you're gonna read my shit and be like, why did you say that to this person? Why? It's like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. Get you fucking yoink. That's my account now. You don't read shit anymore. Get the fuck out of here. Are you gonna be honest with him that you'll snoop from time to time? Yeah, I probably tell him. I don't think most people I've been with mind me snooping as much though, because I don't usually I don't judge. I don't really care what I see. It's just really interesting to me. I'll never read something and I'll never read something and be like, why did you say that about this thing? Why did you do that? Right? I don't do that shit. What's the point of snooping in an open relationship? I don't know. I just like to know shit. I like to read shit. I just think it's very interesting to see. Okay, I've said this a million times. You don't really know what exists in a person's mind, right? You can't ever know. You always have to inductively reason it out. So we have to make probabilistic guesses based on information we have. The more information you have, the better you can understand somebody. So it's very interesting to me when I see the way somebody talks to one person, and then I see how they talk to another person, and how they present the same story in different ways. It's very interesting to me. I like that. I like knowing that shit. Oh my God, have you ever slept? Have you ever fallen asleep in class, and then you wake up, and then there's a whole bunch of new students around you, and you realize you slept through to the next class, and you're not supposed to be there? Oh, fuck. And now you have to worry about, like, do you just get up and leave? Or do you sit through the rest of the class? Oh. I have so many school horror stories. Holy fuck. Why would your teacher not wake you up at the end of class? Oh, because in college you don't give a fuck. Or my teachers didn't give a fuck, I guess. I don't know. I remember one time what happened? Oh God, I have so many horror stories. I fell asleep. What happened? In high school, I had to rely on like really weird ways to get to school because my dad had left to go live with my mom. So I was like 16. My dad had left to go live with my mom. I didn't have a car yet, and I lived like 30 minutes away from school. So I had to like hit up, like my grandma had like senior citizen friends, and I'd have to hit them up for like rides to school sometimes. It was really weird. Sometimes they would drive me to school like fucking 4 a.m. and I'd have to sit outside for like 2 or 3 hours until like the doors open at 7, and then I could go in. Like really weird, dumb shit. I remember there was one day at school. So I was always tired at school like, just for a whole bunch of dumb reasons. I was always tired at school. I remember one time I fell asleep in class, and then I woke up. And when I woke up, I was like, oh God, like I slept through it the next class here. And I got up to walk out of the class and I left. And then I got to the hallway and I'm like, wait a second. And then I looked back in and I realized that, wait, that's the class I am supposed to be in. So I opened the door and I walked back and I sat down. Oh God. And the teacher just looked at me and I was like, I don't know. Yikes. Was I a good student in high school? Fuck no. I was the guy.
Have you ever fallen asleep during one league stream and woken up during the next?
I was the guy who was in class 5 minutes early every time because I was trying to do my fucking homework. Whew. Weren't you a bully in high school? I mean, I was a little kind of, to some people, I shouldn't have been, but I wasn't like a huge bully, I don't think. Do you think we would benefit from a later start, 4 days and less homework in schools? Maybe. Do you know the tactic of covering the bottom few questions on the worksheet with another paper? What do you mean? Like if a teacher's walking around to see if you did your homework, and so you like pull it out and you kind of like just hide it a little? The ways you go to not do homework? Oh, dude, I went through so many. I remember the dumbest shit I ever did in school. I've said this on stream before. So for some fucking reason, I don't know why, but I think I retain information pretty. Oh, I know why. I'm sorry. I developed like the most important skill for school because I played a lot of RPGs growing up, and that was reading. So like the one thing I could do is I could read information very quickly and then retain it, and then like regurgitate it in like my own way. I could do that really quickly. And it was just because I grew up playing RPGs. That's the only reason I like got as far as I did in school. I'm so fucking lucky like that I didn't play like sports games or racing games or some shit because I would have fucked myself. But the, wait, fuck, what were we just gonna say? Oh, in the dumbest shit I ever did in school. So I always did like I was in Honors English 1 and 2, and then AP English 3, and then I did AP English 4, and then a dual enrollment English with my local college or whatever. When you hit AP English 3, the teacher would do these really dumb things where she would give us tests. Okay, so I wouldn't read anything. Fuck that shit, okay? The Odyssey, the Iliad, Beowulf. This shit is exciting in movies. It is the driest. Translated Greek or Roman texts are so insanely fucking dry. Or Gilgamesh, this old shit. Fuck that shit. Oh my God. Fuck that bullshit. It is so boring. The Honors English 2 shit was cool because it was like, did we read Huckleberry Finn? Who was the guy that called everyone a phony? Like that shit. We read that shit, and those shits were like pretty cool. But once we started hitting like the classics, like the ancient classic text, yeah, Catcher in the Rye, like that shit was cool. Like that transition to the AP shit. Oh my God, it was so boring. Oh, Frankenstein was okay. That was an Honors English 2 book, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. But once the AP English shit started happening, fuck that. Oh my God, it was so fucking boring. So obviously for the first, so what I do is you'd go to a website. I don't know if these still exist, but it was called sparknotes.com. Well, what the teacher would do, and I found this out after the first 2 tests. So I did one test. I never read Fahrenheit 451 or 1984 were never assigned to me in class. I don't know. I never read them in school. So what I did was I read the Spark Notes, right? Oh, okay. Well, this is the Odyssey. We're doing chapters 1 through 3 or whatever. Okay, cool. Read the Spark Notes. That's cool. Showed up, took the first test, annihilated. Fucking I didn't know a single, not even one. And so obviously I realized like, oh, okay, I guess I fucked up. I must have gotten the wrong Spark Notes. And so, we got the next reading assigned. I went back. I made sure this is like the shit. And then I went back and again, annihilated. And then at the end of class, the teacher said, hey, a few of you have gotten zeros or like 10s, like 10% or whatever on like some of these fucking quizzes. You shouldn't say fucking on some of these quizzes. When I write these quizzes, it's not going to work if you read the Spark Notes. You actually need to do the assigned reading. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you're real cool. So you know what we did? We used 3 resources, okay? I will never read this boring ass shit. There was Spark Notes. There was the lesser-known little brother, Cliff Notes. We'd bring that shit in. And then there was the Spark Notes extended discussion, okay? So anytime I had reading assigned to me, I would read the Spark Notes to get an overview. Then we would read the Spark Notes extended discussions to see what they were talking about. And then we would go and we would read the Cliff Notes and then those extended comments too. And I started passing those quizzes. I will never do that boring ass fuck. I'm pretty sure that by the end of this fucking class, I had read more dumb shit off of fucking websites than if I would have just done the fucking reading. I realized that too. I was like 3/4 the way and I was like, I feel like I'm probably doing more work than I need to. This is some dumbass shit. But then I tried to open the fucking book and I was like, oh, fuck it. Oh, God, no. And then Odysseus, oh, God. Oh, no, it was so boring. Oh, God. Oh, man. It was the principle of the thing. You're not a pleb that dislikes Shakespeare, right? My AP English 4 dual enrollment final project was an assignment supposed to be our huge analysis of a Shakespeare play. It was like either a 25 or 30 page paper. It was the longest paper I've ever written in my entire life. And I wrote it over Romeo and Juliet. And I did not read the book. And I got an A on that paper. Okay? Fuck that bullshit. Mrs. Brayman, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. I love you. I don't think that any of the teachers liked me, though. All I did was sleep in class. I was a horrible fucking student. Did you ever cheat on tests? Hell yeah. We had the side thing, like the fucking, like, stretching. Oh, yeah, you had so much shit going on. And then you start to get to the more, like, little, like, slips of paper, whatever, that you would hide, like, either underneath the watch, or you could kind of, like, write some things a little bit in your hand, like with pencil lead, and you could kind of read it, but no one else really could unless they did. Preparing cheat sheets would oftentimes like help you remember the material though. Like, so if you actually did like the time to make out a cheat sheet, you wouldn't need to. In the AP chemistry course, I don't know why, but we were allowed to use graphing calculators for shit. You'd store so much information in that graphing calculator because you could type shit into it. There was like I don't remember what it was. There was like a notepad app or some shit. But yeah, you'd start fucking typing all those fucking chem formulas and everything into that shit. Your fucking TI-84, that was your best fucking friend on those tests. Holy shit. Yeah, fuck that. Have I ever gotten caught cheating? No, I don't think I ever got caught cheating. Thank God. Whew. Do you still know the contents of those old stories, or did you forget most of it? I probably forgot most of it. The Iliad. I don't even know what this shit was about. Some people came to some fucking beach to take over a town. There was some dude called Achilles who is like a fucking borderline god because his mom dipped him in some dumbass, these are the Euphrates or some shit river, and his whole body was almost like invincible. So he was like the big dude that kicked ass on the field. There were like a lot of like little kind of gods that like fought amongst the people. But yeah, eventually he had a duel with Hector, the Styx. He had a duel with Hector, and he kicked the dude's ass. Then he put him on a cart. He like fucking rolled him around the city for like 5 days. And then he got shot in the ankle by some dude and died. I don't remember. Some dumb shit like that. Odysseus traveled all over the place. Didn't he go? He went to like some succubus land, and then he went to like the underworld, and I don't know, dude. This shit is so boring. Fuck that. Did you ever read Oedipus Rex? Yeah, that's a really old one. I don't remember that either. Is he like traveling on the road and somebody stabs him in the eyes? He's like gets blind or some shit? I don't remember. That's so fucking long. Did you read Of Mice and Men? I did read that one. I like that story, Of Mice and Men. That was a good one. Were you identified as a gifted student or something? Oh, maybe. I was in like a ton of AP classes and honors classes. But I think it was just because I could read pretty well. What did you learn about European history? I didn't do any of that. No A push for me. No. You ever do this thing? This is really weird. I don't mean to sound like an elitist, but maybe I will. You ever do this thing where you're like in all honors classes, but then you have the classes that don't have the honors class things? Like, so I did a ton of AP classes for a whole bunch of fucking math and science and shit. But for history, I was smack dab in the normie fucking class. You ever walk into one of those classes and see a whole bunch of students and you're like, who the fuck are these people? I have never been in a class with any of these people in my entire life. And you're like, holy shit, this is the normie class. Like, I can tell this is the normie class. These people are, holy fuck, you slept through all that shit. Fuck that bullshit. That's how I felt when I got to college. That blew my fucking mind. When I was a music major and I would go into fucking music theory classes and people were doing their math homework outside of class, and it was some shit I did in like 8th grade. They were doing like quadratic equations, and I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck what do public school kids do for 8 years? What in the fuck is going on here? There's my elitist private school take. There you go. My school didn't offer AP. Do IB courses give you college credit? If you are taking AP class, you absolutely should. If you have the opportunity to take an AP class, fucking do it. Oh my God. It is so good to get that college credit. You don't understand right now how much better your life will be if you can fucking knock out some 4s and 5s on some AP tests. It is so good. Holy shit. What math did you take in 8th grade? I think the book that we used, I always thought it was a joke. I thought that they just like write it on you to make you feel smart. But the book we used, I think, was just called College Algebra. Was like the book that we did, and so we did like a lot of algebra in 8th grade. But I guess like getting to fucking college, I guess it's like actually what they learn as freshmen. But I'm not sure. I think they start fast tracking you on math when you get to like 4th or 5th grade, at least because I went to a private grade school as well. Like, I think they start fast tracking you on math as soon as you hit, because I started to notice like even in 5th grade, you like start to show up in the same math classes with a lot of students, even though they don't tell you like, oh, this is honors math. I don't think they actually say it, but AP stands for advanced placement. IP is like international baccalaureate or some bullshit. I don't know. Highest math you took, AP stats or calc? Lots of calc. Stats was the one. So you could either take the dual enrollment calc courses, so like up to Calc BC, and then I think like DiffyQ, or you could be the GPA patter. There were two people. You had the people that wanted to do the math shit, and then you had the GPA patters. And those are the guys who took the AP stats course, okay? Listen, I saw some of that homework. AP stats compared to the higher calc is a fucking joke, okay? If you take AP stats at school, you are a disgrace. Get those valedictorian chasing, fucking stat padding pieces of shit. People that take AP stats are the same people that don't gank your lane in League, even though it's an easy kill, because they're afraid that they might die, okay? The stat patters. AP stats kids were the original stat patters, all right? Did you not have history, gen eds in college? I probably would have, but like, dude, my college experience was so fucked. I wish I had my notebook. Fuck. I should have listened to my professor. He told me that I was never going to make it through college. He said the schedule was impossible, and it was. But it was like, this is like what a day would look like for me. My college was fucked. Don't do this. This is why I tell you, like, if you can avoid working in college, don't work. Like, or work part-time or some shit. Don't work full-time. It's so shit. But like, it would be like, so I would work until 6 to 8, depending on when the day shift bullshit showed up or when we could catch up. So like, this is pretty much like work. And then sometimes my first class would either be at 9 or 10. So I'd try to like sleep for like an hour or two, like in this time period. Then I would have class from like 10 to like 10:30 or whatever. And then I would try to do a quick lunch, and then I would try to catch like a 40-minute nap here. Then I would usually have classes from like 1 to 4 or 1 to 5, depending on like what rehearsals or whatever I had set up. So this would be like class. And then I always had to be into work at either 10 or 8 if they called me in early. So then I would try to sleep in this period before work. This was fucking AIDS. And then I did this for 3 years. And it didn't work. I mean, like, For the first couple years, I guess it was okay, but I started to get to the point to where like I failed, I think, music history, because I was just sleeping through exams. I would try to do my sleep here after work, and then I would end up missing, because I think music history was like 10 to 11:30 or like 10:45 to 11 or some shit, and I like missed this class, and I ended up like missing tests and shit, and I got like fucked hard in this class. Why even go to class at that point? Did they take attendance? I think some of them did. The music history one did, because he would do like a little mini quiz every day that you get points for. Is that why you quit, or did you eventually fix yourself? Well, I had to prioritize either work or school, and I feel like I was going to school for music at the time, and I was doing really well at the casino, so I feel like prioritizing music over like an actual like career at the casino was a really bad idea. It's like, fuck it, I'll quit school, I'll work at the casino for a while, and then maybe once I've saved up more money, I can pursue like music again when I'm like wealthier in the future. What happens when you got sick? You don't get sick. What? What do you mean get sick? You can't miss work in America if you're sick. You take some fucking ibuprofen or some shit, or some Tylenol, and you just go to work and then go into school. You can't miss. You'd get fucked. Jesus Christ, what is this? College students when they get their first salary. Where'd you go in for music? Because I really, really, really like music. What are these memes? You're exaggerating. You definitely can miss a day. So for me, it was really hard for me to miss a day, because if I start missing like a day or two of classes, I don't have the time to catch up. That's the problem with like missing a day, is that you often don't have like the free time to catch up if you do it. Like if I start missing homework, it's really hard for me to get the notes from somebody else, or to even have time to do that, and then to study and like make up the work that I missed. And then for work, missing days is just really fucked, because like I was the night shift lead or supervisor, depending on when I was working there. So like, nobody can fill in for me, right? Like if I don't go there, like I don't even know what would happen. Actually, if I don't show up for work that night, I don't even know what would happen. I don't know who they could call in to do it. How many hours of sleep would you get on average? I don't know. I tried to sneak in sleep whenever I could. Like if it was really slow at the casino and I could like bust out like all the fucking side work by like 2 or 3 a.m. If I had like one employee, I would try to like sleep for like 2 or 3 hours in the office, and I just let them do shit outside. Was it a Native American casino? Nope. How was your health? I have no idea. How good was the pay? Well, I was working 60 hours a week, and my base pay was like 15 an hour. So I was getting like, what is it, like $22.50 an hour for overtime, which at the time was really good. When I was working at 15 an hour as a supervisor, the minimum wage was like $5.25 an hour. So like, it was really good pay for me, considering I had like no background or whatever, and like any other type of work. Don't you think it's unfair you had to do all that work? I mean, hey, you had to suck shit, of course. Yeah, when I worked at McDonald's, I think my pay was like $5.25 an hour, and then eventually I got raises up to like $5.65 an hour or some shit. Were you just really against taking out loans? Yeah, I took out loans, but like taking out loans to cover like every single part of your life, and then to not work on top of that is really hard. I don't know, can you get that many loans? Maybe you could, but I don't know. I didn't like enough to pay for like all of your tuition, all of your books and everything, and then also enough to pay for like all of your cost of living and everything for 4 years. I don't know, maybe you could, but that's a lot of money to take out. Holy fuck. How often were you at your apartment or whatever? Not too often, but I said that's one of the reasons why my relationship with my wife deteriorated hardcore, because I was almost never home, and when I was home, I was sleeping. So I think she got pretty resentful of that, understandably so. Did you have a crazy high libido back then? Not really, actually, which is actually really weird. When I was in like high school and college, I kind of thought that like I would be with my wife for the rest of my life, and I never really thought about it much before. I think it wasn't until like my early 20s when I started to something happen. It's because you're fucking tired all the time. Hard to fuck when you're so busy. Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Being like sleepy and shit all the time maybe doesn't help. Why did you marry so early in life? It was the only way to qualify for financial aid. Because otherwise you have to go by your parents' income. So even though I was like, I've been separated from my parents since I was like 16. They don't pay like my fucking. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, but they didn't pay anything for me. But when I went to apply for financial aid, the FAFSA considers you a dependent unless you're literally like emancipated from your parents. It's really fucked. Say it, you puss. Tell us. Oh no, there were like a lot of people. It seemed like I met so many people in college who like, I try not to like bitch or complain or whatever, but like when they'd ask you shit, they'd always be like, oh yeah, like dude, like I've been separated from my parents for a long time too. Like the only thing they pay for me is like my car payment and my cell phone bill. And it's like, okay, dude. Like, I don't know. I got driving around like my shitty fucking $1,000 Dodge Neon that like fucking falls apart. But yeah, I mean, anyway, I mean, it's I don't like to do the pity party thing. Did you ever consider selling drugs? Yes. Me and my wife were really close to it. We were going to, because we had a decent sized closet in the apartment that we had. We were gonna like line it with the foil and everything, and then buy like your huge fucking like 2,000 watt bulb or whatever. We had a friend that we were gonna clone the plants from, somebody that Chris knew. Yeah, I got really close to pulling the trigger on that, but I think things started to fall apart with my wife, and I didn't have enough time to look into it as much, so I ended up not doing it. Yeah. Wasn't it your choice? I remember you saying you didn't want to live with your parents. I probably would have been homeless before living with my parents. I love my parents, but I can't live with those people. Oh my God. I don't know how to like make you understand what it's like living with people that are so fucking high strung. Holy shit. I probably fall. You're not on speaking terms with your ex-wife, right? No, we talk every now and then. We're cool. I'm on speaking terms with almost everybody in my life. It's fine. I don't like, there are people that are like so high strung. Like this is the example that I always give. Like somebody might ask like a simple question. Like, hey, where do you want to go eat? And somebody will be like, oh, let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings. And then they're like, okay, fine, let's do it. And they're like, okay. And like, you know that closes in 45 minutes, right? And it's like, yeah, that's fine. It's like, okay, well, if we don't leave, in 2 minutes, like everything is going to be blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, wait, well, we can go somewhere else if you want. It's like, okay, well, you wanted to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. Like, I don't want to make you switch. And it's like, okay, well, then let's go to Buffalo Wings. Okay, but now it's closing in 40. It's like, wait, why the fuck are you guys fighting over this? Pick another fucking restaurant. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like every fucking decision, every fucking plan, every single thing, like would turn into a fight between in that, not like a fight, like people were so stressed all the time, and it's like, dude, chill, go to fucking IHOP, it's 24/7, it's okay, calm down, take a deep breath. Holy shit. That's just a Cuban thing. I mean, my dad's not Cuban. Why aren't you close to your siblings? I don't know, I'm just not a family person at all. I don't know, I just was never close to my family. I guess I was just always off in my own little world. Which one of your parents was typically the antagonizer? Maybe my mom, but I don't like to say she was an antagonizer. It was never intentional or like malicious. They just like, it was just, my mom was just like a very, very high strung person, I think.
Wage cuckbucks.
I have like 5 or 6 like brothers and sisters scattered throughout like different marriages and shit. Do you keep in contact with any of your siblings? No. All of them picked up horrible financial things from my parents. I remember when I visited my sister and her husband. These guys are a family of 4. I think they make combined maybe $100K a year. The mom and dad both work full time, and they bought a mansion of a house. Holy fuck, it was huge. And then I think they foreclosed on that a few years ago because they couldn't afford it. Everybody picked up bad financial shit from my parents. I don't know why. If you go and compare my shit to all of my family members, I look like the poorest family member. I have the smallest shit, usually the least cars. Yeah, it's pretty insane. Do you get bothered by family members for money? Yeah, and I kind of stopped doing it, I guess. I don't really care, I guess. It feels kind of bad, but it's whatever. It's kind of irritating, I guess. Like, I remember, like, my aunt, like, talked, like, a lot of big shit because she was at NYPD for, like, 20 years, and she would always brag about, like, having all these rich friends and shit. Like, oh, I've got this guy that would pay me. And she'd even use it, like, make my mom feel bad. Sometimes, like, oh, I've got all these rich friends, and he'd lend me this money at the drop of a hat, blah, 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 blah. But I think I lent her, like, $3,000 or $6,000, I don't even remember, like, 3 years ago. And she hasn't paid me back. Whatever, dude. I lent my sister, like, $400, like, 3 years ago, and she never paid me back. Feels bad, man, but hey. It is what it is. It's your monthly rent. I don't know. I think I said $2,800 a month, but I think it's actually lower than that. I think like $2,400 a month. I'm not sure. I don't fucking know. It just gets taken out of my bank account every month. How's your tuition situation? What did I do? I think like 5 years ago, I called in and I said that I had just gotten a ton of money. I think I owed like 30 or 40 grand or something. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I called in and I said I'd gotten a ton of money and that if they let me pay it off all, that I could like send them like 15,000 to pay everything out. And then I think we negotiated a little bit, and I said that like if I didn't pay it off now, I would like lose the money because I'm bad with money, and they let me pay it off. I think I owed like 30 grand or some shit in student debt, and I paid like 15 and settled it all. somehow. That's some good ass shit. Amen, brother. What was the rent for Omaha? My mortgage and the house that Rachel and Nathan live in, I pay $1,300 a month. That's not even a studio in San Francisco now. I guarantee you that I could find a studio in San Francisco for $2,500 a month. Fucking chill. It's a lot of money, dude. Why do people, like, rent is really bad in some parts of the country. I don't know why people try to make it sound worse than it is. Like, man, if you want to live in Seattle, you're paying at least $5,000 a month per a studio apartment. Like, what the fuck? Come on. No, you're not. You can find something for cheaper than that. It's still really expensive, but... Oh, sorry. I thought you said 1,500. Oh, 15 or 25. No, 20. I think my rent is like 20. It's anywhere from 24 to 2,800 a month or something. It's something like that. Is LA extremely expensive or just to me? It's extremely expensive. Do you have a 2-bedroom? No, I have a... It's a loft. No meme. I pay $1,500 a month for my half-bedroom, 100-square-foot apartment in New York. It's literally a closet. Have you been looking for apartments to find something cheaper? No, in a couple months, when Melina comes down, I think we have like 12 days left that she can use this year. We're going to look for apartments in the southwest of here, near near Beverly Hills. Is $2,800 not pretty good for what you got? I mean, I think it's really expensive. It's twice as much as my mortgage on my 3-bedroom house in Nebraska. I understand it's not directly comparable, but... How do you not go crazy living 2 people in that tiny apartment? I don't need a lot of space. I just sit on my computer all day. I mean, I don't really give a fuck. Did Offline TV invite you to live with them? I don't know. I've never like formally asked. I don't know if they would or wouldn't, but I could never live in a streamer house. Could you live with messy people? Fuck no. All right. I'm ready for the psychopath test. Success is based on survival of the fittest. I am not concerned about the losers. I mean, no, I want people to be, we gotta help everybody. I find myself in the same kinds of trouble time after time. Yeah, we kind of do. For me, what's right is whatever I can get away with. Hell yeah, boy! I am often bored, I guess, but I try to do shit, so I'm not bored. I don't know, that's kind of a weird thing. In today's world, I feel justified in doing anything I can to get away with to succeed. That's the way of the world, my dude. If you're not doing whatever you can, and someone else is gonna fuck you. If I'm able to pursue one goal for a long time, I think I generally can, yeah. I mean, I've been streaming for 10 years. My main purpose in life is getting as many goodies as I can. Yeah, boy. I don't plan anything very far in advance. Kind of depends. Making a lot of money is my most important goal. If that was true, we wouldn't be playing League. I quickly lose interest in tasks I start. Yeah, probably. I let others worry about higher values. My main concern is with the bottom line. Yeah, kind of. Most of my problems are due to the fact that other people just don't understand me. Yeah, but I kind of understand they don't, so... I don't know what yeah, we'll say the thing. People who are stupid enough to get ripped off usually deserve it. Come on, that's a mean way to think of things. Before I do anything, I carefully consider the possible consequences. Yeah, we do. Looking out for myself is my top priority. Hell yeah, it is. I've been in a lot of shouting matches with other people. That's my fucking job. I tell other people what they want to hear, so they will do what I do when I want them to. Listen, man. How could you do anything different? What else would you do? Tell people what they don't want to hear and then get fucked? This is an obvious one. This is a give me. When I get frustrated, I often let off steam by blowing my top.
Welcome back stateside, my dude.
Okay, what does this
Keep
mean? Like
grinding that content for my enjoyment and your enrichment.
Like abusing somebody? I'm not gonna like hit somebody to let off steam. I don't know. I would be upset if my success came at someone else's expense. Listen, man. Love is overrated. Amen. I often admire really clever scam. Hell yeah. If you got that hustle. I make a point of trying not to hurt others in pursuit of my goals. I mean, I try not to. I really do try not to. Do I manipulate other people's feelings? Okay. Maybe a little. But we try not to. We're neutral, okay? I feel bad if my words or actions cause someone else to feel emotional pain. Well, I mean, it depends on if they deserve it or not, right? Like, do you enjoy it? Okay, sure. I don't know. Even if I were trying very hard to sell something, I wouldn't lie about it. Well, it depends on what we're selling. Cheating is not justified because it is unfair to others. That's not why cheating is not justified. What the fuck? Because people could cheat against you, and then you get super fucked, right? Do we need to change some of these answers? Your answer is accurate and can they be used for research? Sure. Would you be willing to answer a few more questions for our research before you view your results? Sure. Oh no, I like guns. Okay, I don't know if this is very representative of the average gun owner, okay? I like guns, okay? I haven't killed anybody, though. I've always taken apart machines just to see how they work. Hell yeah. I enjoy being part of a loud crowd. Fuck no. I prefer variety to routine. It really depends. I have to stand on a stool to reach tall kitchen shelves? How tall are we talking? No? I don't know what this means. Like, if I wanted to reach, like, the top of my cabinets that are, like, 7 feet tall, yes. I'll put neutral. I am tall? I don't think so. I decorate my things. Fuck no. I consider joining the military? Yeah, I wanted to. These are real bad answers. I feel like this is going to be used for nefarious purposes. I hit my head on low ceilings. How tall is the average sociopath or psychopath? What the fuck? I give people handmade gifts. I actually do this. I take lots of pictures of my activities. Sometimes with certain people I will. I'll put neutral. I throw knives, axes, or other sharp things. No. I don't think so. I really like dancing? Fuck no. I jump up and down in excitement? Does doing that count? I have kept a personal journal. How long? When I was like a teenager. I try out new things. Hell yeah. I've studied how to win at gambling. Well, okay. I think horoscopes are fun. Fuck no. I've been very interested in historical wars. I mean, does it interest me to actually go and read about it? I wear a blanket around the house. Fuck, does my hoodie count? No. No? Oh, neutral? No? I don't think so. I bake sweets just for myself? Fuck no. I leave nice notes for people now and then. Oh, I left Melina a little note underneath her couch that said I love you, so that when I left, like a day later, I was like, hey, look under your couch. And then there was the note. Does that count? So we'll say yes. I have daydreamed about saving someone from a burning building. Probably at some point. I think a natural disaster would be kind of exciting. I mean, yeah, it would be. I have set fuels, aerosols, or other chemicals on fire just for fun. Like playing with a lighter count? Like everybody has done this shit, right? I have burned things up with a magnifying glass. I tried to as a kid, but it was really hard to do. Is English your native language? Yes. What is your age? 30. Gender? Male. 5'4". 170. What is this? 172. Can we use the answers you've given for our research? Sure.
Hi.
You have completed. Oh, I think we're good. Your score for primary psychopathy has been calculated as 3.9. That's like on a 10-point scale, so we're below half. Primary psychopathy is the affective aspects of psychopathy, a lack of empathy for other people and tolerance for antisocial orientations. Hey, listen, man. People deserve it. Your score from secondary psychopathy was calculated as a 3.4. Secondary psychopathy is the antisocial aspect of psychopathy, rule breaking, and a lack of effort towards socially rewarded behavior. With 2 scores, results are very suitable for being plotted. Below is a distribution of how other people have taken this test have scored. Your score was higher than 90% of... Okay. Alright, these nobody cares about meme internet tests, guys. Alright, chill. Psychopathy is how psychotic you are, right? So high score on that test determines how psychotic you are. Psychotic or psychosis, doesn't that mean you're having like breaks with reality? Like if you're somebody that experiences psychosis, doesn't that mean you are perceiving events that don't actually happen? I thought that's what psychotic means. Sociopathic and psychopathic, I think, are kind of like outdated terms. I think it all falls under antisocial personality disorder, ASPD. But it's basically like how antisocial of a person are you? Like there are certain behaviors that you expect normal people to exhibit. So things like attention seeking, or things like making other people happy or being perceived as being good in other people's eyes or whatever, drive like a lot of social interactions. And then if you're like very antisocial, it's usually a bad thing. Dash take an autism test. We did an autism test. I actually scored really high on that. That was pretty easy. Sociopath test. I'm pretty sure we can score whatever we want on these. Like, it's pretty obvious, like, how they... Like, it's pretty obvious, like, how they go, right? Are you superficially charming and intelligent? Well, the yes is a sociopath answer. The no is not. What does superficially charming and intelligent mean? I'm actually a fucking moron, but I pretend to not be a moron? I guess yes. Do you have delusions or other signs of irrational thinking? Well, I mean, how could you ever answer? If I was delusional, I wouldn't think I was delusional. If I understand that I'm delusional, then I'm not very delusional, am I? Like, are you overly nervous or anxious? No. Are you generally reliable? Depends on the thing. We'll say no. Do you regularly tell lies? Yeah. Do you feel remorse? Why would you feel remorse? It's dumb as fuck. Is your antisocial behavior for no good reason? Well, no, it's generally for a good reason. We're trying to get something. Do you have poor judgment or fail to learn from experience? No, we definitely learn. Are you pathologically egocentric and incapable of love? Sure. Do you experience emotions like other people? I guess not. Do you like insight? No. Do you often have to fake your actions and responses to others? Well, it depends on how fucking dumb they are. Does your partying behavior get out of hand? No. Do you make fake suicide notes? No. Is your sex life personal? Personal. Maybe a little. If you fail to follow a life plan. Not really. Capture. Oh, fuck. Am I a bot? Did I not click the thing? Wait, it doesn't score it for me? Okay, fuck that. Okay. How hard is it to sight read music like this?
So yeah, there will need to be a page removed in the middle. I'll get it for you.
It's pretty slow. Bop, 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 bop.
Something like this would be pretty easy, I would think, to sight read. Like most, like, I think like college level players could sight read something like this, I would say, probably. Like good college players. What would be considered hard?
Hi Destiny, I lost my cane game, fuck you.
Odd rhythms, I think. Honestly, I think that the original Mario theme, depending on your background, I guess, in like jazzy stuff, I think this would actually be pretty hard to sight read. I think if you had no familiarity with the source material, I think you would stumble through this a couple times before getting it. Maybe? What does this look like? Because you got like triplets and like dotted shit here, right? Depending on the time signature. Bum 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 bum. I guess that's not that bad. Maybe, I don't know. I'd be curious to see like a really good piano player sight read this without having any familiarity with the source. But I'm not sure. I don't know. But that stuff that we just listened to with the one before that was pretty was super straightforward. Why are some music symbols pointed up versus pointed down? I've never understood that. Because you just don't want to run out of you don't want to run out of space on your clef. Wow, I don't actually remember when it starts going up or down. So like if you write a G here, usually the staff will go up into where like the octave would be. So like this is a G and this is a G. So it would go up to like halfway there. But if you did it all the way down here, it would look really weird, right? Let's see, C's go down. B's are in the middle. I think B's go down. It must be at B that it switches, right? I don't know if B's go up or down. So like F, Like FG would be like this. C is definitely down. If I was to, I feel like a B is down. It's got to be, right? B goes down. Yeah, okay. E is like this. F is like this. But yeah, anyway, yeah, you wouldn't want to write like you wouldn't want to write like this A, like going up here. You would run out of pages on the paper. Pages on the paper. You'd run out of space on the paper. Do you have a piano beside you? Can you show? I mean, how am I supposed to show? Here. You write that down. How does that help you? Okay. Oh, guy reads Super Mario music.
What? I don't know what to say.
We've all.
I don't know if this is exactly correct, but I don't know if the sheet music he's reading is slightly different. Hold on. Like that rhythm was incorrect, right? Unless he's reading something different, or I'm misunderstanding it, right? He's just making mistakes. Well, like it's just that, like something that is like highly syncopated like this. Ba-da-da-da-da. Wait, holy shit! I don't even know I could clap this. We'll just like if I were to do this quicker. I think okay, I can do it because I've heard it. This isn't a good shot. I think that if I was to try to sight read a rhythm like that, I think it would be really hard to do it. To like get everything like I think it would be really hard to sight read something like that. I think it would be very difficult. That's just my opinion. This guy's a really good piano player. It seems like he's having difficulty with it, so. Would you be able to count out the rhythm? Yeah, you could, but like to sight read that would be pretty difficult. Unless you have like a really big background in jazz or something. Maybe you'd be used to seeing all the syncopation. I don't know. Can you sight read the Ghosts and Goblins theme? Link me the sheet music and I can try to like count it out, but I can't sight read it, no. Okay, so what is the tempo? Like 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. This is hard. Wait, that's too fast, right? Wait. Well, wait, that's the wrong notes. Fuck, it's really hard to, hold on. What is this song? It's not Sea Shanty 2? Oh, okay, I don't know what the fuck this is. There you go. I did the first 3 measures. Are you happy? Fuck. Oh, I actually play in sharps now, actually. Wait. I've played with so many guitar players. I can actually do, like, sharp keys, like... Or it's easier now that I think about it. So... But I still wouldn't be able to sight read something like this. Also, double sharps... One... Oh, this is really fast, too. Holy shit. Like this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Tempo 180. Oh, it's way faster than that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy shit. Am I to understand that you can't even read tempo? One, two. So do 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 do. Maybe. I don't know what this sounds like. Oh god, I remember this shit ass fucking game. This was like the hardest game in the world growing up. Okay. Can I just read this stock buyback thing? Can we just get through this? Can you guys stop distracting me? Okay, let's read a little bit about stock buybacks, okay? I read this thread, read a little bit of stuff around it, and then this is where our new stock buyback memes have come from, okay? This is related to pharmaceuticals, but a lot of the principles generally hold true. Very simple, rule 1. So rule 1 is post an explanation on why what you've posted is bad economics. Medication is highly priced due to monopoly pricing by pharma companies. Intellectual property is used to justify incredibly costly R&D for medicine so that in expectation firms turn a profit. Given marginal cost producing of drugs is probably near zero, the marginal cost of producing a pill is trivial, I suspect, firms would not invest if there was no IP to give them monopoly pricing. That's it. That's why it's so high. The government can do things to mitigate monopoly rents, such as negotiating prices on behalf of consumers, purchasing intellectual property from pharma companies and releasing it to the public to produce, etc. Share buybacks are not the cause, but there are good questions regarding buybacks and dividends and the investment. If I should stop and explain something, let me know. I don't know what needs to be explained or not, but I think we're okay, right? Okay? Are we good so far? Please just skip this. No, because I want this to be a foundation for our future discussions, because people are bring up this stock buyback shit a lot. AOC brings it up as well. Okay, we'll stop and explain everything. Okay, so the reason why medication is priced high, the reason why it costs so much, is because pharmaceutical companies have a monopoly on the patents. That means that if you invest money into research and development to discover how to create a drug, you have the exclusive right to create that drug and produce it for I think it's 5 years generally, for pharmaceuticals, right? So intellectual property, that means giving you a patent on the drug that you make. That's just, the reason why we justify that is because the research and development costs for medicine are so high. And a firm isn't going to invest in the R&D for medicine if they're not going to turn a profit. So that's why they need that patent in order to do so. Because the cost of, is it 20 years? I'm sorry, 20 years, not 5. Because the cost of producing a pill is trivial compared to the cost of all the R&D, right? Given marginal cost of pricing drugs is probably near zero, right? So what that means is that if we were to say this is the cost for R&D and this is the cost for one pill. So the marginal cost to produce that one next pill is nothing compared to all the R&D that goes into it, right? That was the worst graph in the world. I don't know why I drew that. Destiny, your argument doesn't take into account a government at the national level negotiating the drug crisis for its citizens. That's why countries with nothing you say, none of that has anything to do with what we're talking about. You're getting way more complicated than we need to, okay? Destiny, not only that, the demand for drugs is highly inelastic, meaning consumers need to buy these drugs. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. Absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, okay? This is very, very, very simple. Very simple stuff, okay? Chill. Okay. That's it. That's why the cost is so high. The government can do things to mitigate monopoly rents. So monopoly rents, I think that means that companies try to make a lot of money due to the fact that they have a monopoly. So the government can do things to mitigate how much money they make, such as negotiating prices on behalf of consumers. This is, for instance, what the NHS does, or purchasing intellectual property from pharma companies and releasing it to the public to produce, etc. Share buybacks are not the cause, but there are good questions regarding buybacks and dividends and investment. Okay. The law of finance says that the price of a security is equal to its expected discounted cash flows. What are cash flows? We usually say dividends, but it also includes buybacks or whatever residuals you get when a company goes bankrupt. A firm that promises to take money from equity shareholders and never pay them back would have a stock price approximately equal to 0. So what this is basically saying is that when you buy a stock, you buy that stock because it's equal to probably your expected discount, the money that the company is going to make, right? Or the dividends that are paid out to you as a result of owning that stock. You wouldn't buy a stock if you thought you were never ever going to get paid back anything from it, right? Because you'd be an equity shareholder getting no money from a company. You would never invest in that company, right? Firms invest such that the MB of a project equals the MC of a project. I think, is this marginal benefit and marginal cost? R&D isn't quite that costly though. They don't care, Dunebug. Way too, doesn't matter. Shh, this is very simple. Okay, firms invest such that the marginal benefit of a project equals the marginal, Did that guy say this? Marginal benefit equals, okay, equals the marginal cost of a project, okay? Firms invest optimally to maximize the market value of their firm. The admittedly controversial Q theory. Residual cash is returned to shareholders. Shareholders either demand this via voting, or managers do this because they feel they're expected to be diligent stewards of shareholder capital. So what this means is that if there's a project for a company to invest in, and the investment in that project, the marginal benefit, is equal to at least the marginal cost of the project, hopefully the benefit would exceed the cost, right? That you would make that investment, and then the extra money that you make is going to be returned to the people that invest in your company, right? Destiny, the song you put is just one song. No, it's playing this playlist, I think. Chill, just calm down. Chill, everybody calm down, okay? If firms invest cash where the marginal cost is greater than the marginal benefit, then they're wasting shareholder money. That money could be better used in other projects at other firms, and using cash for negative NPV projects is wasteful behavior. So that means, for instance, let's say that I raise a bunch of money and you pay me $1 million, and I'm going to invest that $1 million in a machine that makes $500,000. Well, I've wasted all your money. No one's going to invest in my project, they'll invest in something else, is basically what this is saying. This is not how many politicians, ranging from Bernie Sanders and AOC to Marco Rubio, think of buybacks. They see buybacks as shareholder greed, where shareholders just want money and don't care about the long term. They see buybacks as a way to boost the price of stocks, benefiting shareholders at the expense of companies. Wait, this isn't all Hollow Knight. I don't care. There you go. First, a short history. Jason Zweig published a simple, fascinating short article in the Wall Street Journal about the history of buybacks. In short, American politicians and the public used to be extremely skeptical of companies' ability to be good stewards of external capital. Share buybacks were mandated in the late 1700s on top of mandatory dividends. Politicians were worried, in contrast to today, that companies would simply squander money. This idea persisted into the 19th century, that means the 1800s. Keeping excess cash out of the hands of companies was the goal. Only in the mid-20th century did this flip. In the 50s and 60s, business professors and politicians started to see buybacks as bad for companies and only for the profit of shareholders. Today, politicians see buybacks as not in the public interest. I like this part because a lot of people, like what Sam Cedar just did, seem to bring up this idea that like, oh, buybacks? Those always used to be illegal, and it was just Reagan that made them commonplace now. It's like, well, no, it hasn't always been like that. So who's right? As Aswath Damodaran notes, buybacks tend to come from mature, large companies consistent with the idea that firms with few investment opportunities buy back shares. Buybacks should not impact market valuation, making concerns about short-term increases in share price illusory. On to AOC's point about buybacks benefiting management. Is that bad? Well, buybacks raising stock prices provides an incentive to not have CEOs squander money. Remember, this is the historical skeptical American view of the firm. CEOs get more compensation when they return excess cash to shareholders, thus helping resolve the agency problem between managers and shareholders. So your agency problem here is, let's say I have a manager. I've got a manager, and I'm a shareholder in a company. Well, what if he takes all of my money, gives himself a huge fucking salary, and then fucking leaves me high and dry? Well, fuck that. Guess what, motherfucker? You're getting paid in stock options. So now you have to make this company profitable. You have to make the stock price goes up because that's what you're going to get paid in, right? So that's the idea of tying CEO pay to stock prices, is to incentivize, is to resolve this conflict of interest between an owner and like a manager, I guess, right? Like a CEO and a shareholder. So banning or curtailing stock buybacks would make it harder for capital to be allocated efficiently in the market and would provide opportunities for CEOs to squander capital. Concerns regarding lining shareholder pockets at the public's expense is a historical anomaly and largely misplaced. Ask yourself, should Jeff Bezos really squander pension money by investing in pet projects, or should the retired firefighters and teachers get their hard-earned pension money returned to them so they can invest in more productive projects? This is a little bit loaded, but basically the idea is like, let's say I have a retirement package and some of that money is invested in Amazon, right? Well, if Amazon has the opportunity to do a buyback and get me more money back, is that good? Or should Amazon just be dumping a ton of money into random fucking projects because we make it illegal to do stock buybacks, right? How could one pharma company have... Oh, never mind. Dune Bucket, don't care. Okay. And then there are a couple people that bring up responses in here that we can read. I've noticed a few things since writing this, blah, blah, blah. It's 100%, it is 100% true that firms that return capital to shareholders are not investing in their firm. The big important question is whether or not the capital returned to shareholders could have been invested in positive NPV projects or not. Simply saying firms aren't investing isn't useful. The questions critics should ask is, do firms that return capital to shareholders invest suboptimally? So when pharma companies spend more on buybacks than they do on research and development, as they do, and as AOC has pointed out, are those pharma companies not investing in positive NPV drugs? How do you know there are NPV drugs ready to invest in? So basically, in this AOC video, she's like accusing pharma companies of just wasting their money on buybacks, but how do you know that they have good projects to invest in and they're just not choosing to do so, right? These are two really big things that I think have been under-discussed when people try to talk about the cost of healthcare. The first is that any drug can fail at any point in their development. If it gets to phase 3 and you've sunk hundreds of millions, if not billions, that may all go down the drain, and there isn't much that can be done to determine which drugs will ultimately pass each phase prior to the actual clinical trials. This is why pharma stocks are pretty much a coin flip around clinical trials. They make or break with little ability to reliably predict which way it will go. The second is that if we remove those patent incentives, I guarantee that investments in new drugs will drop as they shift to projects with better expected value. As of now, the approximately 50% of global new drugs and new medical devices are developed in the US, and the US healthcare system is funding that. I'm not personally against removing the extended patents, but I'm against doing so without a plan to address what would almost certainly be a decrease in R&D investments that would lead to a decrease in medical technology innovation. Somebody asks for a source on the 50% of global new drugs are developed in the U.S. So unfortunately, this is paywalled, but this study breaks down the country of origin of each drug. Out of 252 new drugs over the time frame that they were able to fully review, 118 were from the U.S. There are some reasons to believe that the proportion of drugs developed in the US may have increased since the time frame of the study, mainly because the proportion of new drugs developed by US companies has gone up, but that is not nearly as comprehensive as this study was in terms of actually showing where the work was done for each drug. For medical devices, I don't have anything to point to. That was just a statistic that my biomedical engineering professor used in lectures, so I marginally trust it. I thought the criticism of the stock, so this is another common misconception thing, right? I thought the criticism of the stock buybacks by progressives were in the context of the 2017's tax cut, where a large portion of the money saved from the tax cut was spent on stock buybacks to the benefit of executives and shareholders instead of employees like the Republicans promised. In that context, it makes for a fair criticism. Tying the issue to drug prices seems like an unnecessary conflation. So the problem here is that you would never expect that to happen. That's just Republicans lying. Anybody that says trickle down is a lying piece of shit. Trickle down is bullshit. Firms aren't going to just pay people more because they have more money. That's just not true. We would never expect that to happen. Yes, Republicans lied, but using tax windfalls to return cash to shareholders is still good as it frees up excess cash to be allocated everywhere. Cutting corporate taxes is still good for long-run investment, which raises wages of employees. Republicans, of course, lied about the horizon of the effect, but I suspect they're mostly correct as to the impact of these tax cuts over time. So maybe over like a longer period of time, we would expect to see like tax cuts maybe boost wages, maybe. Although I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I guess I'd have to look into that. But like any short-term huge infusion of cash into a company isn't generally just going to be paid out to the employees. I think a couple companies gave bonuses in the last round of Trump tax cuts, but I'm pretty sure the majority of the money was used towards buying back stock. I think I'm pretty sure that data was released following. Hold on. Some people in here brought up similar arguments that most economists think that corporate taxes suck and you should have higher wealth and income tax instead. Actually, is there an IGM poll on that? Everything that I've ever read from economists say that corporate tax is bad. But that might not be. Fuck, I wish I could find this. I feel like I've heard corporate tax criticized so much by economists that it's just a bad way to tax money. Here's the article that this guy linked about. Oh, this guy's still responding. These comments are 3 hours old. Holy shit. Destiny, the economics of share buybacks in that thread may be accurate, but I feel the discussion of pharmaceutical costs and losses in that thread are at least 10 years out of date. I don't think that this guy, I could be wrong, I don't think he's necessarily trying to say this is why pharmaceuticals are priced the way they are. The problem is that AOC's discussion here of pharmaceutical costs is cringy. It's very, very bad econ. It's just nothing that she's saying economically makes sense. It's just cringy populist bullshit that has no foundation in reality or economic theory at all. Do you think it's politically effective? Politically effective at the cost of people understanding what's truly happening doesn't seem like a good exchange to me, but Did you look at what Warren said about buying back, about buybacks in the past? No, but like, I don't know. I try not to look too closely. I think that like my interests align with a lot of progressive people like Bernie Sanders or Warren, just because of like broad reasons, but I try not to listen too closely when they talk about economics. Like when Bernie does, I cringe a little when we get into like the protectionist shit. What did AOC actually say again? Sure. Okay. So now we can take our newfound knowledge and then we can listen to what she's saying about stock buybacks here, right?
Are you familiar with stock buybacks?
I know what they are.
And what is a stock buyback?
It's when a company decides to purchase shares of its stock in order to drive up its stock price.
So between those roughly 10 years, $465 billion was spent on research and development. The amount that pharmaceuticals spent on that same time to buy their own stock for the sole purpose of driving up the price was $516 billion. So they spent more than their entire budget on research and development on a tactic to drive up their own stock price. Stock buybacks used to be illegal in this country. And once they were made legal, they were allowed. And one of the things is that when a company buys their own stock, it drives up the price of their stock. And something that's not talked about is that CEO pay is tied to stock price. So CEOs right now are not incentivized to invest in research and development.
How does this all square with the fact that pharmaceutical R&D is funded by the public, or should we keep that part of the conversation separate? Just trying to understand. The pharmaceutical R&D that private companies do to bring a new drug to market is not all funded by the public. Not all pharmaceutical research and development is funded by the public. I don't know where that idea comes from.
They're incentivized to raise their stock price. So, there's a lot of debate as to what can be structured, whether we can go single payer, whether we maintain our insurance system the way that it is, how you make it more competitive, whether you don't, et cetera. But I think one very clear thing that we can see, Mr. Chair, is that if we eliminated stock buybacks, we could reduce the cost outlays of insurance company or pharmaceutical companies by at least half when you compare just research and development and the stock buybacks alone. And again, I just want to thank each and every single one of you for sharing your stories today, because there is no reason for a drug as simple as insulin, which costs $21 in Canada for a 10 milliliter bottle, to cost the equivalent of a mortgage payment or sometimes 2 mortgage payments. And
yeah, so like maybe like insulin is too expensive, but stock buybacks and all that shit have absolutely nothing to fucking do with this, right? Like, so this is the thing, okay? The fact that stock buybacks are more than their entire R&D budget is important. No, it has nothing to do with anything. If a company is doing a stock buyback, then the signal there is that there's just not a good project to invest in. Like, that's all that statement means. Like, whether or not you're spending more investing in projects versus you're spending more buying back your stock, like, is her argument that instead of the money spent on stock buybacks, it should go into R&D to reduce the drug price? I don't know. I don't know what her argument is. I don't know if they just think that the money should just be thrown out on the streets, or if the money should just be given to the homeless, or if the money should just be donated to charity. I don't know what she thinks the money should be spent at. I'm not sure. Destiny, stop being so disingenuous. I don't know why you just link me this and tell me to stop being disingenuous, but okay. I think she's insinuating it should be spent on R&D, no? Yeah, but in this case, the firm hasn't identified a project where the marginal benefit exceeds the marginal cost. That's the problem. Now, you might think maybe the corporation is squandering its money, or I shouldn't say squandering its money. Maybe it's allocating its capital inefficiently or suboptimally. Well, hey, but bring that argument up, right? Maybe AOC instead should go on Twitter and say like, hey, here are 3 or 4 new drugs that you could be investing in. Why are you just returning? And hey, and actually every shareholder of that company will love you for it. Like, oh shit, AOC, you're right. Hey, CEO, why are you being such a dumbass? Don't just fucking buy back stock, invest in these projects, make the company more profitable. But guess what? Like, the funny thing is that the way that she loads these sentences is also like, is really stupid, right? So when she says that like, well, hey, but like, bring that argument up, right? Maybe AOC instead should go on Twitter and say like, hey, here are 3 or 4 new drugs that you could be investing in. Why are you just returning? And hey, and actually every shareholder of that company will love you for it. Like, oh shit, AOC, you're right. Hey, CEO, why are you being such a dumbass? Don't just fucking buy back stock, invest in these projects, make the company more profitable. But guess what? Like, the funny thing is that the way that she loads these sentences is also like, is really stupid, right? So when she says that like buying back stocks is a way to artificially increase the price of the remaining shares. Okay, investing in more pharmaceutical R&D and bringing drugs to market is also a way of artificially increasing the price of your stock. I mean, like, if you invest in more drugs, get a successful drug to market and sell it, you also increase the share price. I don't understand, like, where is the money coming from for the buybacks? Are the buybacks being constantly funded by insane profit from overinflation? So if that's what you think, then that's what you talk about. Right? Destiny, but wouldn't that be more beneficial? No. No. If there aren't good projects, well, hold on. It would be if there were good projects to invest money in. But if there are no good projects right now, you don't want a firm to just shit all of its money into random R&D and fuck over everybody that's invested in the company. Your takes on rhetoric always seem really shaky. Yeah, I know. The problem is that like, fuck it, dude. Never mind. You're right. The big problem is that some people in this country are millionaires and it fucks everybody. When you have $1 million, it's like raping a 4-year-old in the ass every single fucking day. That's exactly what it is. Every big company should be paying $75 an hour minimum wage because Jeff Bezos has $1 billion and Arnold Schwarzenegger fucked his maid. And that's what rich people do. They rape people, they murder people, and they kill the country constantly. And we need to lock all of our borders up and keep all the money inside the United States. And we need to keep all of everything here. And then like, fuck off, dude. My problem isn't with rhetoric. My problem is that a lot of the times AOC's econ takes are literal pants on head fucking stupid. Like, she has no fucking idea what she's talking about. It muddles the fuck out of the conversation. If you want to talk about problems with pharmaceutical prices, then give real fucking solutions. Maybe we buy the patents. Maybe publicly we buy the patents, right? Maybe a company invests a ton of money in R&D and then they make a new fucking drug that saves lives. Cool. Maybe the government should purchase that patent and then release it and then everybody can. That's a good solution if you want to do it, right? Maybe you decrease the amount of time that a patent lasts. I don't know. There are other ways to do it. But to sit here and spew out your shit fucking econ takes because the only fucking... fuck. Never mind.
Rap God.
Okay, let's play Kerbal Space Program, okay? That's what I want to do. Don't sit here and try to justify somebody like fucking like verbally diarrheaing like shit fucking things like that don't make any fucking sense because you agree with the fucking conclusion. It's stupid as fuck and it destroys any real conversation that you can have. You can outlaw stock buybacks without any harm to companies' ability to give returns to shareholders. Since buybacks can be used to manipulate stock prices, the onus is on you to show why you're necessary. When you say manipulate... Oh, I argued with you yesterday. Never mind. You said that 1,000,000 times yesterday, and you couldn't respond, and you're still saying it again. Everything is manipulating the stock price. What do you mean? When you issue new stock, you are manipulating the stock price. When you invest in a profitable venture and you increase the price of your company, you are manipulating the stock price. When you buy back some stock and return capital to shareholders, you are manipulating your stock price. When you make an announcement, when you acquire another company, when you hire a new CEO, you are manipulating the stock. That is the most vacuous statement in the history of all of mankind, manipulating the stock price. Literally everything you do influences the stock price. Here's a funny meme you've never probably heard of, right? Let's say you have a company with a market cap of $500 million and you purchase some shitter company for fucking $20 million, right? Maybe nobody really cares that much about it. Maybe you buy the company, it's not that profitable, but maybe the hype around that purchase increases your market cap by like 2% or 3% or whatever, right? Even though the company isn't worth it. You might actually increase the total fucking value of your company by more than that little company was even worth just because of the hype driven around it. Oh, wow, look at that. You've artificially increased your stock price by purchasing a smaller company. Like, what, like that statement doesn't mean anything. Well, you're artificially increasing your stock price. Everything increases the stock price. What do you, or decreases the stock price? Like, what do you mean? Destiny, build a fucking bridge. Okay. She did advocate for government buying pharma patents. Okay, that's great. That doesn't give her a pass to say retarded shit about economics now. Why the fuck do you think that's relevant? But stock buybacks do artificially alter your financial statements, bro. Ablas, you're trolling me, right? Don't troll me right now. Don't do this to me. She isn't making a single coherent and well-informed point. Start shit-talking Boogie, you manlet. What the fuck do you think? Nice. I'll get on Discord right now. Okay, come. These are stands of divesting and research, but hiking prices reasonable to unregulated in the pharmaceutical industry. Is she making a moral claim, not an economic claim? I don't know. She's trying to talk about economics. What? What do you want?
All right, so a stock buyback does artificially alter your financial statements because when you reduce the amount of outstanding shares that are out there, you inherently raise the EPS for your stock, right?
Okay.
Your earnings per share.
Okay.
So when you do that versus when you give out a standard dividend, you are essentially manipulating the EPS in a way that you wouldn't traditionally do if you issued a dividend, right?
Okay.
So there you go. You're artificially altering.
But what's artificial about that?
Because
what do you mean when you say artificial? When you say artificial, you make it sound like they're playing some weird fucking game. If I own...
It is a game.
It's not a game. If I own some amount of your stock, and you could pay me either through issuing a dividend, or you can buy back some of your stock and increase the value of my shares, either way, at the end of the day, you're returning capital to me who's invested in your company.
Because your return on equity is completely different, right?
Well, but that has more to do with the tax code and the way that we tax dividends versus capital gains than what the company's actually doing, right?
No, that has nothing to do with that. That's a long view of it versus a short view. Like when you do a stock buyback, you immediately influence the EPS, right? But your ROE is over a longer term. So, wait, hold on.
EPS, sorry, I was in chat. Wait, say that last thing one more time.
So, like, your EPS will like, let's say you sell off, 20,000, or you repurchase like 20,000 of your shares.
Job is
Suddenly your
doing medical
EPS rises,
and I have a strong
proportional to the
econ
amount you bought
background.
back. But none of those
If you
earnings have
want to
actually
talk
been
on
returned to your
Discord or
investor,
some
right?
shit,
So
I
you
am
Sorry,
return
hold on
equity.
one second. Somebody donated
but
a
I am
5 head,
kinda
12
drunk,
paragraphs.
so keep that in mind.
Okay.
Memes
So,
Nathan.
Wait. Okay,
all
go.
I'm saying is that those numbers do not necessarily align, right? Your return on equity versus what your supposed EPS is, your earnings per share, because the minute you buy back, the minute you do a stock buyback, you immediately impact your EPS without actually returning those, that value to your shareholders. Now, like,
Wait, but
everything
the price
else,
of their stock increases, wouldn't it?
Not necessarily. No, that's another thing that AOC got wrong. She says that by buying back shares, they're artificially propping up the value or like somehow like increasing the value, but that's not accurate.
If a company has no, those prices wouldn't increase. If a company has 10,000 shares of stock issued, and it rebuys 5,000 of those shares off the market, right? And I was an owner of one of those shares, then I'm essentially being paid to sell my stock back to a company, right?
Wait, say that again?
If I have 10,000, if there are 10,000 shares of a stock out there, right? And the company buys back 5,000 of those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody that owned those 5,000 shares, all of those people that were shareholders are essentially being paid, cashed out for their equity, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing as it's almost the same thing as a dividend.
Kind of, yeah, except you're completely selling your share, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, no. I mean,
I just don't understand like what's wrong or artificial about that. I don't understand that. Like,
well, it's just it doesn't result in a perfect alignment on your financial statement, right?
what are the consequences of that? What do you mean by that?
Well, you just make your stock look more attractive to someone who isn't in the know necessarily, right?
Okay, I don't know anything about this, but my guess is that that's not true. Are you telling me that a company can do like a big stock buyback and then all of a sudden like the whole market is tricked and the prices go crazy or what? Like this isn't priced in or?
Anyone can look and track a buyback.
Okay. So then what do you mean by it artificially like hypes your stock? I don't understand. Like that seems like something that like these financial statements are all public. Stock buybacks are all public, right? All of this activity happens on the open market. So I don't see how this would like cause like weird, like what is the consequence of this? Like, My dude, Reno, I'm literally ignoring everything you type. You've typed like dumb fucking comment after dumb fucking comment. Sorry, keep going.
All right, so
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So what Brett is saying, like, you can make the same argument about reverse splits, like where companies are like increasing the amount of shares they have available and shit too, right? Would you consider that to be like artificial manipulation as well of like stock prices, or?
what? Like, wait, what? Like a regular stock split?
Yeah.
I mean, arguably, it's the same thing. I mean, I don't actually have an issue with this. I'm just saying it does result in like some manipulation of the financial statement. Like I think stock buybacks are completely legitimate and they're fine because ultimately,
When you say, I have a huge problem with that, with those words. When you say like manipulation or you say like artificial, like I don't know what.
Okay, so
those are really loaded. Yeah.
So I think something like organic growth would be something like you come out with a new drug, you come out with R&D.
Okay.
And you reflect that way in the market. Like the value of the stock rises based off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I consider artificial growth something like, you know, you have a scheduled stock buyback on X days.
But I don't think a stock buyback grows a company. Like, do you see like the market cap of companies increasing when like a stock buyback happens?
I mean, you could see short-term investors like piling into something, and then that, you know, raises the valuation and your PE ratio.
I mean, even if that was true, I still don't know if I would agree that that's artificial. Let's say that I have 10 firms that I can invest in, and I just saw that one firm returned a whole bunch of capital to shareholders. Wouldn't it make sense that people would want to invest in that firm? Like,
yeah, but it doesn't speak to the overall health of that company, does it?
Doesn't it? If they're buying back stock with profits from the company, how does that not speak to the overall health of the company?
Well, because if they're not using that cash for something else.
Why would you expect them? I mean, like, that's a whole different argument. So if you want to make the argument that they're suboptimally allocating capital, you can, but like, that's a totally separate argument, right? So like, you're basically
you could say they're making like an inefficient, like it would be an investment in something, and they feel that, you know, their profits are better utilized via stock buyback, right?
Sure. That's the idea. In a perfect world, you're doing a stock buyback because you don't have any good projects to invest in, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a perfectly fair argument.
Sure. So if I saw a company was doing like big buybacks or whatever, and I see that they have that capital to return to people that invest in them, I don't think that choosing to invest in a company like that's like an artificial thing. Like, I mean, the prices are set, or the market would set that price because people generally want to get paid for their investments. I think that's a fair statement, no?
Yeah, but you can't also just automatically assume that the health of the company is tied to the fact that they're doing a stock buyback, right?
No, of course not. I would never assume that. But I wouldn't assume that a stock buyback is like a bad thing either. It's just a thing that companies do. Like, the idea that like, if you're doing a stock buyback, it means that you're wasting your money, you're not investing in new projects. Like, if anything, I would expect the opposite, that there are no projects to invest in. Otherwise, I feel like the shareholders would fire the CEO. If they really felt like the CEO was fucking them by doing a buyback instead of investing in highly profitable ventures, I feel like they would trash the CEO. Like, there's got to be something else there, right?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, look, her argument was that she has issues with stock buybacks because it raises stock prices in a way that she thinks is inappropriate or something.
Well, but she's comparing the cost in stock buybacks to the cost of R&D. Like, she's pretending that like the company could be researching and developing all these new awesome drugs, but instead they're just giving it to greedy capital owners.
Right, but like ultimately, she also doesn't understand that, you know, the corporation has a fiduciary duty to their shareholders.
Sure.
And, you know, one of those is to return profits to those shareholders. That's like a fundamental principle of contract law. I mean, of corporate law. I don't know.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why CEOs get paid in stocks now, right? Or stock options, is because you want them to be incentivized.
Well, that's the whole, that's the whole, like, what's the word? I don't even remember anymore. The idea that you need skin in the game, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, because otherwise you don't want...
It's like moral hazard, right? Is that what it is? Where it's the idea that essentially there's no risk tied to what they're doing because...
Yeah, you don't want like a CEO to squander the fuck out of a company and still get like a huge salary or bonuses and then just walk the fuck away and burn everything down and fuck the shareholders.
Yeah, the golden parachute. But they still have those.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
All right, buddy.
I love you, buddy.
All right.
Be careful. Wouldn't it be better for who she is and what she represents to be arguing that the marginal benefits the company get with stock buybacks are not worth the disinvestment in R&D for the public? Yeah, but you're assuming that there is this is like the fundamental problem. I don't want to do this a million more times. You're assuming that there are profitable projects that the company can be investing in, but they're just not doing it. Like, okay, we're doing Kerbal. We just shouldn't have done a tax break if all they were going to do was buy back stocks. Amen, brother. I don't disagree with that, okay? Trickle down is bullshit, and when Republicans want to cut the fuck out of all this fucking taxes and expect that that money's going to flow down to fucking poor people, that's some dumbass shit. Nobody disagrees with that. Well, Republicans might. There are examples of companies using buybacks to boost CEO pay despite decreases in earnings. Why not just outlaw it again and let them do dividends? Okay, then we would be having the same fucking discussion. Except instead of AOC saying, well, last year, pharmaceutical companies spent $600 billion on stock buybacks instead of on R&D, she'd be saying, well, last year, pharmaceutical companies spent $600 billion on dividends rather than pharmaceutical R&D. It would be the same fucking argument, except you'd be using dividends instead of stock buybacks. What the fuck? Okay. Rip, Bruno, cappuccino, pappuccino, cappuccino, 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 cappuccino. Be careful. Rip. I'll usually say something effective like, hey, listen, you're being chill and I'm pretty chill, but I understand that I have a right at any point in time to